Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Valzar Gaming Plays League of Legends. Today I shall be playing a solo 5v5 as Anivia. I do not believe I have done a champion spotlight for Anivia, and I really think it's about time I do so, so that's what's gonna be the focus on this video. Although, should be known that a little bit beforehand, before recording this video, there was a small dispute in the chat. Not a dispute, really, but someone called mid and I joined the chat, but I picked Anivia, and so I said, fine, I'll just go bot. They said, okay, I locked, and then they just ended up saying, just go mid. Warwick will jungle, so whatever. We'll see exactly how this turns out. We have quite an interesting team composition that you don't see very often. We do have a jungle Warwick, and since I think they changed Warwick a little bit in the patch, I don't quite recall. But I have not seen a good jungle Warwick in quite a long time. I saw one actually a couple days ago, though I guess I can't quite say that, who kind of their butt, but we did not have very much communication on the team. But we have three really tanky characters and two pretty squishy characters, so I think we can exceed in a team fight against these guys, because they are pretty squishy and all, and they are reliant on their CC and Vayne's high damage output, as well as their ability to single us out of a fight. And since if they're going to single anyone of us out of the fight, it's either going to be a tank or it's probably going to end up being me, in which case I really have to watch that egg. So, about Anivia, she is a high damage burst. Early game, she does not have a lot of AP, but she can do a lot of damage, even without a lot early game. It really depends on who she's minning against. It looks like it's either going to be Lux or Kha'Zix. I really hope it's Lux, because I don't want to min against the Kha'Zix, because anyone who can be that close to Anivia at any point in time makes it really hard for her to land her Q. If you're dancing around. Otherwise, Lux, she's, you have to watch her. You have to play really defensive, but you can do it. As long as she doesn't hit me with her snares, I may have to get a Banshee Veil, and that will keep me very safe in this lane. So one of the things I like to do with Anivia is, this is a new thing, so I've been trying to use this in my builds. I usually get a gold per 5 items. You won't see me buying Dorn items in any of my videos. There are very few items I would buy Dorans on, like Caitlyn or Vayne, just not on an AP champion. Or Gragas. Sometimes I'll get dual Doran's rings on Gragas or Ahri. Other than that, I can't really say I do. So you really have to work to focus on her E quite a bit. You usually will. I always start off with my Q. I have seen people start off with the E because of the low cooldown, but this early in the game, it's really not something that you want to focus on until level 2. But her abilities are all reliant on her Frost passive. Oh no, it's not a passive. I'm sorry. Whenever she hits a unit with an ability, it applies Frost. This does not include the crystallized wall. So her Q passing through an enemy or popping on an enemy. I do not think her E applies Frost. Her ultimate applies Chill. And then if they have the Chill Frost effect, I think it's called Chill. Yes, Chill. Then she can use her Frostbite ability, and it's a target ability, and they will take double damage to it. Now, this makes her very good at nuking down her enemies quite quickly, making her a very strong poke champion. Although her awfully high cooldowns on some of these abilities do give her limited sustain options, which is why it is important to play defensive as her. She does have an egg, but it is sometimes hard to utilize. Because most of the time when your egg is popped, they've already dived at you. A lot of people, it's really hard to use it strategically, although in team fights and in high tension combat, this can change the entire what's the word I'm looking for? It will change the tide of the combat completely around on them. And then you respawn with how much health that your egg had left when the timer finished. which means that you can go from having 10 HP to having potentially full HP if they don't hit your egg. But it does have a 4-minute cooldown. This is very useful against champions like Brand, because they'll usually burst you down, and then they'll have no damaging techniques to burst you down further while you're in egg form, which means you'll spawn with a lot of health, and you're going to have your abilities back up by then, in which case you can finish them off pretty quickly. I can't really say that works with Lux, because she does have her passive, which, if she hits me with it, and she hits me while I have one of those green markers over my head, I'll be taking burst of damage, which is why she's hitting those minions down so quickly. And that's really what I have to watch out for in this lane. Looks like bot is under, or top is under quite a bit of pressure up there. Warwick is going to need to hold top, and our bot lane is being pushed pretty hardly. They do have a Diana, but she is going against a Vayne, and because of Vayne's ability to knock people back, that kind of shuts down her Diana's closing abilities. So they are going to have a very hard time down there. And with Thresh singling her out, Nautilus does not have any real damaging abilities, so he cannot properly support in the kind of situation if they get pulled back. In this kind, I may even, I may even suggest that Nautilus take top and Nasus go bot at this point, because Nasus does have those damaging abilities that could get them out of a fishy fight. It's could do it. Probably not going to happen at this point. We'll see what they decide on. And it could still, that way, it could still go either way. And who knows about top lane. It does not look like they do not have a jungler, so this is really going to be dependent. This game is going to be dependent on how me and Warwick manage to play this out. So once I hit level 6 and I'm able to get her to go back, I need to play defensively and knock her down, because if I cannot do that, I will not be able to gank either of the two lanes, and that means that it's going to be solely on Warwick, and that's going to be a problem, because we do have two lanes that are very hard to play against. Now, Lux is running a little low on mana. If you've noticed, I've barely used any of my abilities whatsoever. A lot of the Anivias that you'll see will level their Q first and use it to farm. It's usually not a good idea, because she is a very defensive-based character. And if she runs out of mana and they decide to dive her, she has no defense other than to pop her wall, flash away, hope that she can get egg behind turret so they won't dive. It's not a good situation to be in either way. So right now it's mostly just a farming war between us, which is good. I don't want her to be under the turret getting unchallenged pokes. Well, they won't be unchallenged because I do have my full mana still, so I have an advantage in this lane. So she has not been assaulting me directly, which I like. Once I hit level 6, that's when things are really going to heat up. If she's going to get her ultimate, and she'll probably be much more aggressive, and I'll have to really watch out for that. But I will be able to get that aggressive too. I won't have to rely on hitting my Q to get the chill effect, which means that my E's can poke without relying on a very slow traveling skill shot to hit her. They did actually recently increase the travel time of, rather decrease the travel time of my Q, so it is much easier to hit now, and it is harder to dodge. You can't see it coming quite as easily. So a very well placed Q can very easily change the tide of this battle. I am going to start, as soon as this minion wave clears, I am going to try to go back and grab a Philo Stone, because I have quite a bit of gold right now that I want to get rid of. Alright, so now that that's under the turret, I'm going to go ahead and recall now. And I'm actually going to buy that miracle right away. Because it does, after 3 levels, all the effects of it become permanent. The regen becomes permanent. Hi! Good. Hold on a sec. I do not have Heal, Revive, or Clairvoyance, so I will not be getting that, but Anivia has a lot of mana problems if you end up having to use her abilities often. And as you see, I have barely used any of my abilities in this lane so far. But I have not gone head-to-head with Lux on any real kind of level, other than my Q-tap earlier, but she chose not to engage that fight. Probably a good choice for her, because I do have quite a bit of an advantage over her if I decide to go in, if I'm able to get that chance. So she is playing defensively, too. So I think she knows that she doesn't want... It would be a bad idea to give me any kind of advantage in this lane. So I am going to get another Philo Stone for the gold and for the extra regen, so that after then I will be playing very aggressively against her. I'm not going to be as nearly as defensive as I am now. I'm going to be using my abilities whenever I get the chance. I did just get quite a few hits on the turret. It is at 1706 out of 2550. So she's not too happy about that, and now I can start getting some hits on her. This should be a relatively easy mid lane for me. I do not know why she just threw her shield at me. She may not be used to playing Lux. I don't know why she threw her shield at me, because she did not dive me. It could have just been a simple misclick. I do that all the time. I won't be thinking, I'll just throw my shield out there. Though, in this case, with the mana war going on right now, it is going to be quite important for her to be using that responsibly. So we'll see. If she does that too much, I am going to go in when she gets low on mana. But for right now, I am going to go back and grab that other Philo Stone.
Let's soar.
And now I have quite a bit of regen. 26 in the health, 36 in that mana, which means I can start using them a little bit more. Hold on a second. Hey, Mom! Aunt Joyce, are you working tomorrow?
No.
She's gonna... Okay, she's coming over tomorrow.
For what?
She has stuff to talk to you about. Alright. I'm not sure. She said don't call her. Alright, so far I do have 2 of the 3 levels ready on a miracle. I am going to get this without dying, so I will get this miracle. And then I'm going to start being really, really aggressive. So I should get the miracle. There we go. That is now becoming a permanent effect item, which means, as you can see, I still have the 2736 mana regen. That becomes a very permanent effect. I find this a great alternative if you do not like buying Dorans as I do. Because I will eventually have to sell this Philo Stone or get a Shurelya's. I usually don't go for the Shurelya's because it is a support item. And though it does have its advantages, and people do like getting Shurelya's on a support-type champion, such as Anivia, I am going to build a high AP cooldown reduction and magic penetration to start doing a lot of damage quickly and not giving them much of an option to fight back. So she actually had the advantage in that fight because I kind of messed up in my Q. She popped her abilities on me. I'm probably going to have to get a Woda pretty decently early. I'm going to get it after my boots. I may, you know what, I may get a Cage's Lucky Tick because I don't know, she does have a little bit of a hand of an edge over this combat. And I'd rather have a stronger build late game and at a weaker build early game than being progressive.
Understood.
Because we are going to be very reliant on these team fights this game. We have not currently had one, although our Warwick is being very good at these games. We have not yet lost a turret. It is 11 and a half minutes in. Top turret just went down. So, the laning phase for their team, top lane, is over. Arnassus is still going to have to cover it a bit. That does not bode well for our side of the team. So me and Warwick are really going to have to pick it up. Warwick is doing all he can, so now it's just mostly on me. Bot lane is getting destroyed. Vayne is 0-9. That is very, very bad for our team. And that's what I was afraid of very early on. And it seems to be coming to play. So we are going to really have to focus her down in these team fights when they happen. Otherwise, Thresh only has 2 kills over us, so he has taken 2 of the kills bot lane. It looks like Warwick died both times when he went bot. Possibly, wait, am I doing that? No, he must have died. Both times when he went to bot, because that's 11 kills for bot lane.
Only for you.
And although Nasus is struggling to hold his turret, he is managing to score kills without dying top lane. So he has a kill on Kha'Zix, and Kha'Zix has another death, which it looks like probably went to Warwick. So I'm not worried about top lane. Even though we did lose a turret, it's not going to be a massive game changer for us. It does give them a little bit of gold, and we do have to watch it quite not as carefully, because they do have to push it. That gives us a little more time. And now Nasus, knowing that his turret's down, can't do it. He's going to try and help out bot lane a bit. So that should give us a little bit better on bot lane. Since we have not lost that turret, it is going to give us quite a significant advantage. I am about to take mid turret, which means I'm going to start doing kind of what Nasus is doing, but not quite as frequent. He should be doing it about 25. For every 4 times he goes, I will go once, because I did get a little advantage, and I do have to rely on it being pushed up to push it, because it does allow her to attack the minions just a little bit better, not a whole lot.
As you wish.
But I will now be able to start doing some ganks that are actually meaningful to the combat phase, without jeopardizing my lane in any way. So my onions actually started hitting the top turret, down about 300 health, which means I have 2 options at this point. Well, I have more, but I have more options. I have 2 new options open to me, that's what I meant to say. I can start going into the jungle and picking some of them up, either from our jungle, but I don't want to do that right now, because Warwick is still low level. I want him to get that farm, he needs it. Or I can start going into their jungle, which is much riskier, but they do not have a jungler, which means they will not be looking for me there. So I could, right now, go in and steal their blue buff, which I think I'm going to go do, and then I'm going to go help out bot lane. But let's see how that works. So here we go. I'm going into the bushes now.
In a flash.
We're going to see exactly what's going on here, if they have blue buff. They do have blue buff up, although they are missing a small minion, which means I think Warwick may have tried to take it earlier.
Only for you.
Or someone on their team did, and then they had to leave. So I used most of my mana, about 800 mana to get that, but I do have a very large regen of 86 mana, so I will be able to spam my abilities now. They do have this warded. That was very silly of me. I did not think of that. I have to watch that. Alright, so that is going to make my lane, my ganks bottom, much more difficult. They are going to try and stop me. They did notice me recalling. Alright. I'm probably going to have to back here. I'm going to throw my Q out to hit those, and then I'm going to recall. Oh, Nasus. That was a good attempt by him, but he's going to have to go back to top lane now. So he no longer has to be in his lane very often to farm, because being up too far puts him open to ganks. My next item is going to be a Woda. Now, I have heard several people ask me, why do I get a Woda on Anivia? She has very high burst, but she is not getting significant constant sustain like the, like other AD champions do who get spell vamp with high attack speed. She's not a spell slinger. She is very conservative in how she plays. Now, the reason for this is there are several reasons. I'll just start naming them. The Woda is specific to magic damage in where you get the spell vamp is from, which means that I am a high AP. My ultimate is a very big AoE, which means that the longer it is down, the more I'll heal for it. It is not a significant amount, but over time it can change the course of the battle. Diana is AP, so she will benefit from that in team fights, as well as Nautilus, who does not have quite as many abilities as Diana, but he will benefit from that. It does increase AP damage ratio. Nautilus should get a little bit from it. Warwick isn't going to get anything from it at all, because he does not do damage. It gives me AP, and it gives me much more sustain in lane, which I really like to have as Anivia. You know, please tell me I actually decided to press the record button. Ugh. For some reason, I just realized that my frames are kind of high this game. And I do not have my frame rate is set to stable. So this is a first for me. I'll have to see exactly how it's affecting my CPU after this game. Otherwise I'm going to knock it back down to 30, like I've been doing in the last few videos I've uploaded prior to this one. Alright, it looks like we are going to pick up Thresh bot lane. I probably could be down there right now, but it looks like they're doing okay. You know, that was a 2-for-2 trade. And now we are getting more of an advantage over mid lane. I'm going to try, rather than doing the ganks and relying completely on kills this game, because it is 8-20, that's not going to work. We're going to try and get the lane advantage right now. So Diana's going to come help me take this turret. And we take the turret, and now we are at their inhibitor turret. Now my general rule is if we hit inhibitor turret, either us or the enemy team by inhibitor turret, we get a gigantic edge to the game, which makes it very easy for us to go and makes it much harder for another team to change it. I think I'm going to get out of here pretty easily. I did stun him. I'm going to drop my ult behind him to add on to the slow. And now I am really low on health, so I'm just going to keep going. I think I'm going to stop at walls. Nah, I'm just going to go to the turret and recall. So I'm going to grab the Hex Drinker. Someone is messaging me in the background. It is Luke. Okay. Okay, sorry about that. I had to respond to someone on something, a more personal issue. Let's go back to the fight. Okay. So far, it looks like Thresh is going to help out the mid lane, because they did notice that I was hitting their mid turret. So hopefully this is going to try and draw them off of bottom a little bit more. Give us an edge, give us some more opportunities to pick off this lane, who is 15-2. So, being her carry, because Lux is certainly not going to be able to do it this game. Whoa, 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 whoa! Okay, okay, okay. Nasus is going in there. I am low on health, but I am going to go back in. If I can land this stun on Lux. It did stop short. Come on, please! Oh, for crying out loud. Alright, I am out of mana. I cannot help in this fight anymore than I've already have. I need to go back, or they're gonna dive me. I have no health, and I have very little mana. Not enough to throw more than a Q, maybe an E.
In a flash.
I may get a Chalice. No, I'm not gonna get a Chalice. I'm just gonna go start getting my penetration items. So I usually go with Elandri's Torment and Avoid Staff. I may or may not get a Zanya's at this point. Zanya's, Rabadon's Death Cap, considering their composition right now. They are building a lot of health. Thresh does have that Aegis. I don't think more AP is going to help, although I will get the penetration in stuff. Yeah, I guess that's really all I can say at this moment. Let's just see how this fight turns out now, because things are getting much higher tension. I'm gonna leave my ultimate up for a second before turning it back off. I thought that hit Shen. I guess not. I'm gonna keep running, because I have no mana left. This is not good for the team fights. We were not expecting them to last this long. My entire team basically died. Nasus is pushing top. He really needs to be down here right now. Vayne is getting unchallenged pushes on the bot lane, getting a lot of more farm than she should be allowed to be getting right now.
Only for you. Let's soar.
Okay.
Understood.
I think we have lost any advantage that we may have had earlier. We still have the lane advantage, but they are now they're now starting to do the team fights earlier than we were anticipating, because now that we have the lane advantage, they are trying to counteract that by going into team fights mid lane. Well, this is usually a strategy that is very effective if used properly, and they are using it very properly. It's called the 4-man push. Basically, 4 of them go mid, and usually they'll have someone like their ADC pushing bot lane, which means that they get a lot more farm. We lose our advantage on the lanes, and since we do not really have a strong carry this game, we will not be able to win those 4v4s very easily or quickly at all. So by the time they finish, their ADC finishes their push on bot lane, she'll come in mostly full health and really change the fight if it wasn't going in their favor, and make it go more in their favor if it wasn't already. Very effective strategy where it is not about kills, it is about time elapsed. So right now, it did work for him pretty good earlier. Everyone in the mid-fight died except for me. I did not have really any stats. I've been mostly farming this game, getting the lane advantage, and trying to play it safe. But they are now all going mid. We are split pushing quite efficiently.
Understood.
So they're playing the time game. We are playing a different time game, which is not as high tier as the 4-man push. What we are doing right now, we are having our minions push while our champions go off, try and engage their team, which all in all is not working very well. Although we did just pick up a kill on Vayne. That is a good sign. Now the rest of my team's going to try and get out there. 3 people went down. I'm going to throw my stun out there, slow him down from Nasus so he gets out alive. The 4-man push is a very great technique in quickly taking down your opponents over time. When you have high kills, usually when you have about the same level of kills, it doesn't work quite as well. I'm gonna... Oh, shoot! No! That was... why did I do that? Wrong side of the wall. Oh, man. I am so sorry. I am so sorry. That was totally my fault. I meant to place it just behind her, and I placed it directly in front of her and almost got her killed. It is very hard to place those walls, but I need to be more careful with that. I was not expecting to do that. As I was saying, though, we are pushing with our minions, and this is why the 4-man push, they can only really counter one of our lanes, and they are picking to counter bot lane. So now we are not in those team fights, so someone is going to go top and clear that lane. Assuming that we might get a few hits on the turf from the minions, but someone's probably going to get up there in time. It's not going to be that much of a changer, but right now we are pushing bot, so Vayne is probably going to go top, get some of that farm. Oh no, they're right here. They may not be going for top lane. They really need to be. Yep, there's Thresh. He's going to pick up those minions. We got about 100 damage, 600 damage, or 5 to 600 damage on that turret. Not much right now, but over time that can do something. But their 4-man push does give them a much larger advantage in a much shorter period of time than our minion pushes are. So we did not take that turret. We only did about 500, 600. We need to pull that off several times consistently. I'm going to try and cut off his Kha'Zix. Okay, our Diana did catch that. I'm going to flash out so I don't get cut.
Understood.
Surrender voted was started. We we are not in the most favorable positions right now. I'm voted no. We can come back from this. It is very stable. It could flip either way. It depends on how we do these team fights and where we're positioning ourselves outside of the team fights as well in regards to the lanes. To be honest, this is a normal game. This is not a ranked game. So, and I do not really play solo duel ranked. I play team ranked, and I have not played one of those in quite a while. So they are going to take out our mid turret. I need about 50 gold for my Leandri's Torment. I'm going to try. I can't get in on time to really make a difference. I'm going to try and slow him down. I'm going to cut their Thresh off from the rest of this team. Make them go back in. I'm going to drop my wall. I'm going to try and get out of here. Nasus is too far up there, so he does go down. I am going to go back now. I'm just going to walk because I don't want to risk getting dived by their entire combination of their team, -1. I did not know where Kazakhs went.
Understood.
I am going to grab this Leandri's Torment. So now I am getting a little bit more penetration. I have more AP, and I'm doing some burn damage on my spells. And then I'm probably going to try and get a Void Staff now. As you can see, we are going 1336. Not favorable in the kills at all. I'm going to try and pick up this Thresh here. I get Thresh. So now they don't have the support, they don't get the benefit from his Aegis, which means that we can turn this battle around quite well because Kha'Zix is not here. I am going to teleport to top lane rather than walk. I am out of mana quickly. That did not last long. I'm going to back off here. He was not able to pick me up, although that was really close. I had like 83 health, I think it was. Whew. Okay. So I managed to save top lane for the time being. Kha'Zix is not going to be able to take it, though he did get a couple hits on that turret through the minions. So, okay, they are going to push mid. I should not have gone top because Nasus is here, although he did not fix. I'm going to fix this lane by dropping my ult and eating this larger minion. Get a little bit more gold. Make sure they're not hard pushing top as much as they'd like to be. And now that our lanes are pushed up, if they try to do this fight, we will have everyone in this fight minus Diana and Nautilus. Which means we really have to try hard to hold this turret. We may not be able to do it. I'm going to try and wall them off, so they do have to go around that. Drop my ultimate there if they try to funnel through. Now, that took away their minions. They are going to dive and go for Warwick. They might get him. But they are going to take quite a bit of damage trying to do so. So, Vayne has been cut off from the fight. She is going to try and get out. I am waiting to use my wall to cut her off if I have to. I got it through an auto attack? Okay. I have no problems with this. So their ADC just went down, so they're going to try and pull out of this fight now. Our minions are pushing top. We did manage to take out their Vayne. Diana's a little up there. I'm going to try and throw my Q out. Maybe not. Let's see. Whoa, that... Okay, we need to get out of here. We need to get out of here now. I am out of mana. I'm going to pull back. He is going to go head-to-head against Warwick. I should not have done that. I am in my egg form, so I should be just fine. He may try to circle back for me. But with my high regen, I am going to try and pop my ultimate. I got a little bit of a slow on him. And that allowed Warwick to jump in there with his Q and pick him up. So we are starting to get a little bit of a tiny advantage back in these team fights. If we play properly. If we continue to play properly. So far, this is looking like a very even fight. We have all of their mid turrets up to the inhib. They have all of our mid turrets up to the inhib turret. And their mid turret is down to about half. So we are going to keep doing what we're doing and hope for the best. they're soon going to have to change their tactic into, they are not winning the 4-man fights as they tried to do earlier. They did it once. I have not seen anyone pushing the side lanes. So we do have an advantage. It's very slight. It may be enough to do something. I'm gonna find out here. Their team is congregating behind me, so I'm gonna get some pokes on this Lux. She missed her ultimate completely on me. And now I am stuck between their team, so I'm gonna go in this bush and try to recall. I don't want to risk trying to run through them, and I don't think they're gonna get to me in time. Kha'Zix is looking for me, but he did not check the right bush in time. So I am gonna get out unscathed, which is how I like it. So, we did lose 2 people in it. Once again, we are getting a lot of kills on us. But hopefully we will not have to rely on the kills, which means they also have a very significant gold advantage over us. I am going to ping for them to go dragon, because they are really close, and we could use the gold, considering how many times that we've died compared to the amount of times that we've killed someone. Did they just get Baron? They just took Baron and they caught me going back to mid lane. Okay. We have no advantage at this point. They now have so much more damage from that Baron buff. Health regeneration. I don't think Baron gives damage. I think it does. Attack damage, ability, power, health and mana regeneration. I really don't know what I should get as my last item. I think I'll get a Banshee's Veil. I might just get a Banner Command, because I am doing quite a bit of damage, but I am being forced to play more of a support than a hard damage cover, relying on my zoning abilities. So I think I am going to go for the Banner of Command at this point.
As you wish.
They might surrender now, because it is 3-1. And even if we don't, they may finish right here. Oh no, Anivia, very good character. Can be played aggressively, though, and so of course in this game I have had to play a little bit on the safe side. Doing mostly for zoning effects. My team is not up, they are going to finish it here. So, otherwise, if you liked our video, please subscribe, like our video, favorite if you enjoyed it. And we shall continue to pump out these videos more often than not. Now. Feel free to comment in the videos if you like to. You know, you can send us an inbox if you want to join us, because we have not had a lot of activity lately. So, I will see you in the next video. This has been Velithor in the Anivia Spotlight, and I shall see you next time.